of Brewers, the home of homebrew. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Dan here from League of Brewers, top of the South Island, New Zealand. And today I am back in my garage and I'm going to do a fresh hop brew. So it's March 2025 and we've got our hands on some really nice RIWAKA hops from Freestyle Farms. They've got an amazing farm out there. So they've got every New Zealand variety growing out there and some. So they're doing some amazing things out there. And the good folk at Freestyle Hops gave me a tour yesterday and they took me around their whole farm. I got to see the whole process from the field all the way through into the pelleting process where you homebrewers out there are using hop pellets. So it's a bit of a journey through their processing plant there, but absolutely amazing. Marie from Freestyle Hops showed me around, and she's a great person and gave me all the inside knowledge that I needed to know while I was there. So I've got some of those fresh hops waiting in my fridge to go into this brew shortly. So I'm excited about that. And some of you brewers out there have asked questions. How do I make a fresh hop brew? You've only got really about a 3-week window of opportunity to get these fresh hops and make a fresh hop brew. So for the rest of the year, you've got pellets, which are great as well. But fresh hop beer has a unique flavour to it. And so it's an exciting time for home brewers. And I know a lot of home brewers out there that take that opportunity to grab some fresh hops and make a fresh hop brew. So that's quite unique. So I'm excited to put these hops in this brew tonight. And I'm going to give you some tips and some pointers on how to make the most of those hops. The RIWAKA hops that we have from Freestyle, as soon as I picked them up and I had them in my car yesterday, I was like, whoa. My car smells amazing. Whew. It just smells like, well, sorry guys, I'm the only one that can smell it. So yeah, woohoo. Whoa. The aroma was intense. Forget air freshener. These hops, you don't need air freshener, mate. This was so good. I know out at Freestyle, watching the process there from how they harvest the hops, they employ a good amount of people out there at this time of the year. And it's, like I say, it's a very short harvest. It's around about 3 weeks. So everybody comes together to help with the harvest. You know, you've got the guys out there, they're pulling in all the hops from out in the fields. From there, it goes through this huge picking machine and it grabs all the hops and takes all the hops off the bines, and so all the hops are dropping down onto all these conveyor belts, and then from the conveyor belts they're getting sorted and all the leaves are getting shaken off, all the twigs and all the bits of bine getting taken away and left with the beautiful hop. And then it goes through to this drying room, and there's just like these huge, they look like beds of hops, and they're heated from underneath, gently heated to dry these hops out. And it's before that process that we get the opportunity to take some of these fresh hops before they're dried, and that's what's going to be going to this brew tonight. From there, the fresh hops are dried, and then once they're dried, they are through to the pelleting process. So they take the fresh hops and they crush them down into a powder. And then you have this very fine powder. Some of you homebrewers out there might have seen, you know, at the bottom of your bag, you might have a bit of powder residue from your hops. Well, that's how it was formed in the first place. They were crushed up and then they get pelletized and compressed. And from there, the pressing process actually applies a small amount of heat to the pellet, and it goes through into this cooling room, which sort of looks like a submarine. It's this weird sort of box-shaped room or a vessel with a window on it, and you can see all of these hops dropping down and getting cooled instantly. And then straight from there, it goes straight through into a weighing machine, into nitrogen flush bags, sealed up, and that's as fresh as you can get, really. So that's the brilliant thing about this style of producing hops, is that it's from the bines into pellet form in a very short amount of time. So that is giving you the freshest hops possible, basically, and it's super exciting. So yeah, I am adding some pellets as well during the boil, just to give the overall beer some complexity. So I've got some RIWAKA hops here. They're pellets. They're actually crushed up powder. It was the bottom of a bag, but there's nothing wrong with these hops. So I love using this stuff. The reason I'm using a little bit of pellets here is just to accentuate through the boil. I want to save the RIWAKA hop cones just for the whirlpool for the end of the boil. So I'm going to put these in now. This is going to add some complexity to the beer at the end of the day. There we go, 25 grams of RIWAKA. That'll do it. So that's going in 5 minutes. Another 60 grams of 30 of RIWAKA, 30 of Nelson Sauvin. No more hops should go in here apart from the RIWAKA cones, which are going to go in very shortly. Okay, so we're getting super close to the process here of adding these fresh hops. So the secret tool for doing this is this Grainfather whirlpool paddle. So super easy to use, and all you need, one of these guys. So I've got about 5 minutes left in the boil here, and I'm going to attach my drill to my Grainfather whirlpool paddle, and it's going to go on the boil just for sanitation. So that'll sit in there and get sanitized from the boiling wort. So yeah, the end of the boil is just finished. So we're going to reduce the temperature of the wort down to 80. So I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to go and turn on my water so my counterflow chiller can cool this down. So once it's down to 80 degrees, then we're going to switch the water off, and we're going to add these beautiful Freestyle RIWAKA hops. Thanks, Marie. Look at these bad boys. Woohoo! So this will give me a good opportunity, guys, to talk about why we're going to do what I'm about to do. So this is a hop cone. All of the goodness is in the center here. You can see all the yellow. That's a lupulin. That is the good stuff. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to wash all of that lupulin out of the cone into the wort, and that's going to give us really good flavor. So with pellets, you don't need to do that because it's all been crushed and it just basically falls apart when you add it to the wort. 1 second, I just need to turn the water off. So yeah, as I was saying, we need to get some serious movement around these cones. So I'm down to 77 degrees, which is fine. 77 to 80 degrees is fine. And I'm going to add these beautiful hops. Are you ready? Woohoo! In they go. So we've got 1 kg of RIWAKA hops here from Freestyle Farms. Look at that. Where's the wort gone? Where's the wort gone? Well, we're going to bring it back to life with this Grainfather whirlpool paddle. You push that down and slowly start to get that into the wort. Whoa! Put that on there tight enough. This is a really good way of getting movement of wort around your hops. You're trying to wash all that lupulin out of there and get a serious amount of flavour. So probably do this for about 5 minutes and then I'll let it rest and then I'll do it for another 5 minutes. These hops will probably be in this wort for about a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so that's been about 5 minutes, guys. So we're just going to let that rest for another 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll whirlpool it again for another 5 minutes. And then we'll repeat that process until 30 minutes is up. And then we're going to chill it into the fermenter. So we're back for another 5 minutes. We just had a rest for 5 minutes. Now we've got another 5 minutes. You can see those cones are starting to really soften up now. But I'm just using that paddle just to really, it's almost like you're beating your hops, you know, you're giving them lots of movement like that. Try not to splash the camera. And that's giving you really good flavour. This is the only way to really use fresh hops, wet hops. You can't really dry hop with fresh hops. There's a certain amount of bacteria that you get from wet hops, and that's just because, you know, they haven't been kilned, they haven't gone through the drying process. Most bugs will exit the hop cone in the kiln and drop out. So yeah, it's a safe bet to add them during this whirlpool where you're at 75-80 degrees for half an hour. That's enough to get rid of any other unwanted bugs. This smells amazing. This is going to be one hoppy beer. I'm so excited about it. And I will dry hop with pellets on this one. So I've got some pellets, some RIWAKA pellets, and some Nelson Sauvin, and some Waka too. So I'll be putting them in the dry hop down the track in about 5 days' time, once the fermentation started to slow down a little bit. And that's going to give us a heap of aroma. But most of the flavour here is going to be coming from this fresh hop whirlpool edition. You can see those hops now, they're starting to sort of look a little bit broken up there. I'll mention too, I have a false bottom in the bottom of this Grainfather, which will help keep all these hops off the bottom. But actually, with cones like this, it acts like a filter anyway, so we won't have much problems with transferring this beer out of here once the wort has cooled. I don't know about you guys, but this is making me thirsty. It's just smelling amazing. So we're coming to the end of our whirlpool here, and it's going to be time to start the chilling and the transfer to the fermenter. So I'm just going to pull this out. Might just keep it whirlpooling as best as I can. But that was about 30 minutes of movement there inside the grain father. So there's going to be a lot of flavour, and I can actually see all of the oils and all the lupulin sitting on top of the wort here. I don't know if you can see that. It's sort of like a yellowy, sort of almost like, what do you call that? Like, I know what it is. It's hop dust. Yeah, it's like the lupulin from the centre that's come out. So that is the goods there. So now we're going to start the cooling process as per usual, and we'll transfer it into the fermenter. There's one more step here that will be different to your standard brew with hop pellets. So once I've transferred the beer, I'm going to show you one more step to get even more flavour and volume out of your fresh hop brew. So I've got the water on here, guys, and it's just chilling the wort down, and that's giving actually a little bit more circulation as well. Just drawing from the bottom and then bringing back up to the top. You couldn't get the same flavour and aromas out of your fresh hops if you had them contained in a bag, for instance, like a hop bag or a spider. You need to have them loose like this to really get the flavour out of it. And 1 kg of fresh hops will equate to around about 100 grams of pellets, 150 grams of pellets. There's a variation depending on variety and stuff like that and alphas, but at 80 degrees for 30 minutes, loose in your boil pot or your grain father or your Brewzilla. Using the grain father whirlpool paddle is a really good way of extracting that lupulin and the goodness that is in the hop. So I couldn't recommend a better way. Let us know what you think, guys. Is anyone else out there using a method like this or another method that gives you a super fresh hoppy beer? So we're down at 60 now. So we're going to transfer to the fermenter now. Got my Firmzilla all-rounder. Yeah, and there's no problems here with the pump being stuck or any problems with, clogged transfer, because the cones are quite big, so they're acting like a filter at the bottom. You could just get away with the standard grain father filter. Some other people use their grain basket. So if you put your grain father grain basket in there, which has a filter at the bottom, you could also do that. But I find you have more surface area to play with if you don't have your grain basket in there. So there's many different ways to do this, but for me, I find this gets really good results. So we'll just let that fill up there now, and when it gets to the bottom and it's all transferred, we're going to go where no man has been before. Yes, I've spoken to a few professionals. Some work at Liga Brewers, and I tell them, hey, have you ever thought about sparging your hops? And they go, what? Sparge your hops? I'm like, yeah, your fresh hop brew. you've got all of these hops sitting in the bottom of your vessel full of wort. Now, if you add some fresh water to the top of your hops, that's a good way of collecting all of that wort and sort of rinsing your hops out, just as if you're rinsing your grain. It's like you're sparging your grain to get the sugars out. Here we're going to sparge the hops to get the lupulin and the wort out. So if you factor that into your recipe, or even if you don't factor it into your recipe, a couple of litres of fresh water is just going to give you extra volume and extra flavour. So why not? Let's do that in about 2 minutes. Okay, guys, so the transfer is finished. I got 21 litres. If I add 2 litres of fresh water, so this is out of my sparge tank here. I'm going to keep the water on because this water is still pretty warm. And we're just going to gently rinse those hops out with 2 litres, and in theory I should get 23 litres. Not only will it be an extra 2 litres of beer at the end of the day, it's going to increase those flavours just from washing and sparging those hops. 2 litres, here we go. So just gently sprinkle some fresh water over those hops there. Yeah, it's not because I'm greedy or anything and I want an extra 2 litres of beer. I just think, you know, why not get some more of that beautiful flavour out of those hops, which in turn increases the volume. So we'll just turn that back, pump back on. I don't know if you guys have heard of a grainfather block, but this is a grainfather block. Stick it under the opposite side of your pump, and that's going to tilt all the wort towards the pump. Here we go. Not only that, there's probably a good half litre of actual wort wound up in the chiller there. We'll take a gravity reading once we get our 23 litres. Man, this is milky. I think we might have a hazy on our hands here, guys, like a hazy pale ale, just from the amount of oils that are in this. But we'll see when it's finished fermenting. I'm going to use Lallemand Bry 97, so West Coast style. But this would equally make a really good hazy as well. If you know, I might use Verdant or S23 by Fermentus. That would make a good hazy. But the grain bill is a League of Brewers recipe, caught in a whirl. I thought, you know, what better fitting recipe for a Whirlpool RIWAKA hops from Freestyle than to use caught in a whirl New Zealand pale ale recipe from League of Brewers. So there we are, guys. That went in exactly 23 litres. Pretty happy with that. There's a few fruit flies hanging around, so I just put a bit of sanitizer on a hand towel there. So there we go. I'll pitch the yeast when the temperature is right, and pop it in the fridge and add my yeast. And I will probably check back at a later date with the tasting session. What do you reckon? Yeah. Ben's keen. Good on you, Ben. Guys, thanks, Ben, man. You're the man. So yeah, Ben's our new YouTube channel manager, and he's the dude, man. He makes everything look great. So thanks for watching League of Brewers channel once again. if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Any questions, please get in touch. Feel free to comment. And yeah, we hope you homebrewers out there are enjoying the hop season. I know a lot of you are. And so it'll be interesting to hear your stories. So thanks for watching, guys. All the best. Cheers.